Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Shirley and I will be your moderator this evening. I am excited to welcome Rachel Grant, Business Development Specialist with eAssist Dental Billing, to discuss how outsourcing your billing can help solve staffing issues. Before we get started, I just want to take a moment to go over some housekeeping. If you have any questions, please type them into the Q&A section, and we will answer the questions live at the end of the presentation. And please note that CE is not available for tonight's webinar. Dr. Rachel, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I will pass it over to you now.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here today. I'm looking forward to sharing lots of great material with you, and I hope you'll walk away with some helpful information that you can take back to your practices, put into use immediately. And we're really going to be talking about how to vacation-proof your revenue. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump in. So talking a little bit about eAssist, first, I just want to thank eAssist for allowing me to present to you today. And to tell you a little bit about them, before we get into the meat of the presentation, eAssist really invented an optimized revenue cycle management and front service offerings for dentists. It's giving that control back to the practice owner so that all of those tedious tasks don't tie up what we're here to do and serve those patients. So for more than 10 years, eAssist's platform has been putting money back into the pockets of nation's dentists, reducing the stress of their teams and creating more reliable cash flow. eAssist platform is comprised of dental billing specialists serving over 2,300 dental offices and DSOs. Now, these are just some of the amazing awards and recognitions that eAssist has received over the years. It is really impressive what all they have accomplished, but the most impressive to me is the number to the right. To date, eAssist has collected more than $9.34 billion from insurance companies on behalf of dental practices all over the country. That's a lot of money the insurance companies are trying to keep. So most of you are familiar with eAssist and think of us as a billing service, but you may not realize all of the other things eAssist does to serve dental practices. These are the services, as you can see on the screen here, that eAssist can offer to help take your administration team and the hours that they put in to accomplish all of those tasks back into the office, back into the patients, and I'll allow eAssist to free up that time. Again, eAssist's original focus was dental billing and insurance filing. They also offer credentialing services for dentists who may be starting out or are new to the practice. We also have, through our Unitas team, the PPO negotiations and really fighting to make sure that you're collecting not only what's rightfully owed, but the highest maximized amount for your practice. This, of course, is a huge time saver. The next service, which is our insurance verification. It's unbelievable how much time is used by your team just sitting on the phone to wait on hold, just to ask a few questions about the insurance benefits and eligibility. Our team takes care of that tedious task to secure that benefit detail and provide that back to the office so that you can now make those treatment plans and continue with treatment rendering with detailed information. Accounting and bookkeeping and payroll services are another tool offered by eAssist. They understand the ins and outs of a dental practice better than a local accountant or bookkeeping would because they focus on the dental practice alone. Outside of that patient portion, statement and billing, this means that eAssist specializes in not only collecting from the insurance, but helping to collect from the patient. So with that, we're sending statements, making those outbound patient collection calls, as well as sending those collection letters to really stimulate that outstanding patient AR, where many practices struggle making those phone calls, sending those statements, and would prefer someone else to do the dirty work. So lastly, we offer our full schedule service. We have many specialists who go through your practice management software and work your overdue recare, treatment plan lists, and make those outbound calls to get patients to schedule those appointments. That way we get those treatment back on the books, and you're no longer having these accumulating outstanding recare and treatment plan lists. that are no longer worked. So jumping in to tell you a little bit about me, I have fortunately been able to be with eAssist going on 10 years since we have been started, and it has been a wonderful ride just being able to watch all of the difference that we have made within different practices. I did start out as a dental assistant, loving the clinical aspect of it, and then fell in love with business. And that led me to now a business development specialist, helping our practices really get on the right foot. So what I'm hoping that you'll learn today are three main objectives here. So the first is the benefits of outsourcing dental billing, the outsourcing process for dental billing, and how to apply the knowledge gained from the webinar into your own dental practice and what that looks like. So we're going to jump into really one of the biggest challenges that practices and quite frankly businesses right now are facing with, the staffing dilemma. So we took a poll of our 3,200 practices and then some, and then we got some information here. Looking ahead into the next 6 months, or maybe even what you're challenged with now, these are the top 3 challenges that your colleagues and the practices around you are facing. You may be facing these as well. So 66% is a big one. Staffing is our #1 challenge. Overhead is expensive. Training someone, bringing them in, or getting that dreaded call, I'm putting in my 2-week notice.
Hi, everyone. I think that Rachel's connection froze up. So hopefully she will be joining us in the next few moments. If you would kindly stand by while we wait for her. I think she will probably be trying to log back in. So this should only be a moment. Sorry about that. But hopefully we will get her shortly. Are you guys able to see me? Is everyone able to see me? I think so. Oh, there we go. There's Rachel. Okay. I think she's coming back in. Let's see. Okay, I think Rachel is trying to come back in.
I do apologize. It looks like we were having some technical difficulties. Zoom decided to
Hey, it looks like Rachel is trying to come back on. So hopefully she's having some technical difficulty. So hopefully she'll be on momentarily. Okay, I do see her there trying to come back in. We're here, Rachel. If you can hear us, we'll be.
Okay, I apologize. I'm not really what's going on with Zoom. This is kicking me out.
Okay.
Still have you. I apologize. Are you there?
Yes, and we can hear you now. It sounds a little choppy, but we can hear you.
Okay, I apologize. I'm not sure what's going on. It just keeps telling me it's disconnecting. So I'm not sure if it's on my end or not. So hopefully we've retained you. If we have, you're very
Yep.
patient. Thank you so much. I'm going to keep going from here.
Great. Okay, looks like we may have lost her again. Okay, I think she's coming back in here. There we go. Okay, I think
It's
she's back.
disconnected.
Okay, we hear you. It sounds a bit choppy, but we can hear you.
Okay, I can keep going if you would like. If not, we can try it another time. I'm issue with Zoom on my computer. Apologize.
No
If you would
problem.
like me to keep going.
Yes, that would be great. Thank you. Oh, and now we can see you. Great. Yeah, now, oh yeah, now we
Okay, perfect. All right, let's get this screen going again. Good things come to those that wait, right? All right, we're gonna move on over. Can you hear me? Can you see me okay?
Yep, we see you and we hear you perfectly, and your audience is all here. So this is great.
All right, thank you again. So before getting disconnected, we were talking about the top 3 issues that offices are having that are really kind of impacting them on a day-to-day basis. Those issues being staffing, inflation, overhead and rising costs, and insurance low reimbursement. So now jumping into a question I would like to ask, and then we're going to take a quick poll. So have you recently or are you currently recruiting administrative staff? Now, nearly a third of dental offices are recruiting administrative staff at this current moment. The number one thing that we hear from practices is that we're trying to hire and we can't find a skilled set team member to fill that seat. So in the next poll, we're going to pop up on the screen. I would just like to ask, did you come today because you're facing some of these issues and really one of our team members contact you to set up that consultation, or no, not at this time? And we will have another opportunity later on in our presentation if you change your mind based on what you're hearing. Just give a couple minutes there for that. And then we're going to go ahead and keep on going. So of course, staffing isn't going to be the only problem. This is where we have some statistics to kind of show what's going on beside that staffing problem in the practice. So in 2017, the insurance over 90 AR, according to Sikasoft, which is our where we pull a lot of data from practices nationwide, the average over 90 days past AR balance was $47,000. That's almost another startup practice. And this is the average balance that's owed to our practices. The other average that you might find shocking is that the average dental practice's schedule are only 83% full. That's a pretty large margin of opportunity and opportunity to fill those voids, not only for our own goal business oriented wise, but that's a lot of patient care opportunities, right? This is often due to patient cancellations, low patient demand, and trouble finding vacant staff positions, or maybe even having the wrong person in the wrong seat that isn't able to get that treatment plan acceptance. Maybe they're spread too thin. So the average dental school grad, and I'm sure this is no shock to all of you, is $300,000 in student loan debt. So when we are sitting at 83% full, there's a margin there that we really got to make sure that we can chunk out at that student loan debt with those patients that are scheduled. So now that's where we get into the fun part. And there is a solution for both staffing issues and collection issues. That's where we're going to transition into the full suite of offerings that tie into streamlining your dental billing process. So it leads me to ask you, have you asked yourself, what goals are you wanting to achieve this year? Maybe 5 years, the 10-year plan for your practice. How eAssist can help your practice again, our goal is to give offices back that peace of mind by streamlining the revenue cycle, keeping your cash flow consistent, and that peace of mind of knowing that if someone calls in sick that day, you still have a support team that's going to keep your office running. So then there are some different areas that we can support. Dental billing is where we help to ensure that the insurance revenue cycle, and when we say revenue cycle, that's talking about the bloodline of your office. So the claims that are being sent out clean with all of the necessary attachments and narratives, posting your payments to make sure that those payments have been maximized and what you're collecting from the insurance company. And then following up on that insurance aging, consistently working those aged claims to figure out why they haven't paid and taking all the necessary actions to get them to do so. Outside of that, insurance credentialing, making sure that you're credentialed in the place that you want to be to maximize those insurance reimbursements. Insurance verification, this is going to be crucial to make sure that we know what benefits your patients have to use on that treatment. As we know as an industry, insurance sometimes does dictate the way that our patients are accepting their treatment. And so having the most accurate information possible to estimate that copay is really going to help with that treatment plan acceptance. Dental accounting and bookkeeping. This is a great way to not only just simply reconcile what's automatically deposited into your practice's account, but then all the way through developing a customized P&L report for your practice, really seeing how much money is going in, how much money is going out, and where it's going. We also have our patient portion, and this is helping to retrieve those patient balances. Again, having that customized service of team members that are calling your patients to educate them about why they have a balance and providing them a resource to make those payments securely to get that patient aging reduced to zero. We also have our full schedule. This is one of my favorite services because it is where our team is making those outbound calls, stimulating those outstanding recare treatment plan lists, and getting those patients to schedule on your appointments. This is a service, this is a position in the practice that is so coveted, but it's usually very underfulfilled. No one has time to sit on the phone and call patient after patient, just getting them to schedule, but yet it's crucial, right? We talked about that 83%. So now the average results for eAssist dental billing clients, because this is important, right? What are you going to get out of eAssist? 30% improvement in collection ratio. This is on average. 80,000 reduction in over 90 AR. 55,000 increase in total production. $50,000 increase in net production. So you can see where your average practices are sitting and before starting services and after 12 months. That's where we're pulling those statistics from, but that's huge. Those are some huge numbers. Think about if this chart was applied to your practice, what would those numbers look like for you? So to build on what eAssist can help with, of course, that's going to be more than just numbers. So we're going to be able to provide the increase to your office manager's bandwidth, right? It's kind of like having that personal assistant. babysitter, that housekeeper that's going to do the tedious tasks to allow the office manager and the team to now spend more time with the patient, or all the other tedious tasks that they still have to do in the office. It's also going to help prevent that burnout and team turnover, because when you're not spread so thin, you're not dreaming about what patients you need to verify, or worried about maybe a step that you missed in your posting process, and you have that peace of mind in a team member to help you out. It makes your day-to-day that much more sufficient. So now, what does outsourcing look like? We touched on the services that we can offer, and we're going to kind of deep dive into those services a little bit more here. Now, that first service in talking about your insurance revenue cycle management is that insurance billing. Again, this is focusing on that bloodline. So from start to finish, after services are rendered, all the way through the end till that payment has been posted. Our team has our finger on the pulse of where that claim is at to make sure that not only are you maximizing what's rightfully owed to the practice, but that you're paid timely. One of the great things about the insurance billing service is not only are we focusing on your current claims, but we're going to go back 2 years of existing date of services due. So most practices think at a year, that's timely filing, we have to write this off. Our team's going to go above that another year to make sure that we can really get every penny that's owed to the practice, and for the patient's benefit as well. So this is where I love to just play a quick video to show you an animated version of what you would expect to see on how eAssist supports the practice. I am not sure if that will be supported here. You'll have to let me know. I apologize. I'm not sure if that's supported here, but I do believe that it should be sent in the recap email. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So we're going to just jump over then to the next slide. So this is going to highlight just what we had touched about before. So with our insurance billing service, the 4 main steps here after the patient's treatment has been completed, we just ask that the office will create the claim out of protection for doctor's license so that we know that we're okay to submit that on your behalf. Once that has been created, our team is going to take care of making sure that that treatment has been properly coded, that there's no common coding errors, that it has all of the necessary information so that the insurance company can't push back and ask for more or try to delay that claim payment. And we're going to submit that electronically through your software. Once that claim pays and processes, we'll take care of posting that directly by line item into your software to make sure that each code has been processed and paid accordingly. During that time, of course, if there's any type of downgrade or appeal that's needed, we'll take care of that in that moment and appeal for the next step. Finally, we will work all of those outstanding claims going back 2 years again, and making sure to have clear status notes so that you'll always know where those claims are at in the process. So with our insurance billing service, we also have our brand promises. Our brand promises are to collect 100% of what's rightfully owed, submit clean claims within 1 business day of creation, as well as post all payments 1 day within, provided them being sent to the practice. We follow up on all of your outstanding claims every 7 to 10 business days on claims that are going 30 days and over. And our goal is to get the insurance over 90 to 0 and keep it there. One option to streamlining your billing process is to ensure that there is never a pause or delay in revenue. Office managers, how nice would it be to take time off or even a sick day without coming back to a stack of daunting EOBs waiting for you? eAssist comes in and supports the office manager remotely and supports the practice so that it still has that ball moving, even if the vacation is going to happen. Now, a little bit about your dedicated eAssist team. You would have a team that is there built, not just one singular person. So you'll always have a full team to reach out to. Typically, that's going to look like 2 dedicated team members with a 3rd team leader. And they are there to help to support your dedicated team, as well as oversee their results and expectations, They're also there as a next point of contact and next level administrator if you ever need to reach out to them. Now, how that team connects to your practice, we have a couple of different options. If you're a cloud-based software, we can set up our cloud connections, and that's a pretty straightforward connection from there. If you do have a preference, we have two different options of connections for our non-cloud offices. And that's going to be a dedicated computer. So a computer that we remote into, you can see us moving behind the screen, but it does tie up that physical computer. So no one else can get on there or it would kick us off. We can also use a server connection, which is usually the most preferred because it allows us to work simultaneous to the office without kicking anyone off, and we can all work copacetically. What you can expect in the timeline from the time that we have our one-on-one to learn more about your practice and the areas in need through the time that you're fully launched and live and you have that support team. This is kind of what you can expect. There are 10 steps that can take anywhere from 2 to 5 weeks, with our average launch time being around that 2-week marker. It really depends on the needs, requests, concerns, and the practice management software. This is one of the areas that I'd really love to highlight. We had talked about my experience previously, and from a numbers of reporting and overhead perspective, this is something that gives not only the practice owner, but the office manager and office team members some great data and metrics about your practice. So I like to call this my bird's eye view. So on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, you're going to be receiving daily reporting. This reporting is going to capture things like your production to collection ratio, the total number of outstanding claims, the total number of outstanding dollar amounts that's owed from patient and insurance. It will show your insurance collections, your patient collections, and a synopsis of the inner working of your eAssist team. So it's almost like if you had a team member that had a play-by-play of everything that you paid for them to do in the day, and you got that report at the end of the day. And on top of that, the success of your practice data. That's what you're going to see with these eAssist reports. When we have our consultation, since you can't really see all of the data here on the screen, we love to provide you those sample reporting so you can really see that detail of what you'll be able to see on your practice on a day-to-day basis. One of the other great attributes, aside from the daily reports and kind of bird's eye view that you get from a data perspective, we also have our Practice Booster team. This is powered by eAssist, and it's going to allow you to choose the right CDT codes, as well as get the most up-to-date changes that you may need to make in your practice or in your software to really maximize those insurance collections and have that coding with confidence. Now that kind of jumps into our next service, which is insurance verification. So increased cash flow, decreased accounts receivable, and eliminating unpleasant surprises for patients. That's where the eAssist insurance verification platform gives you that peace of mind. It comes from knowing the specific details of your patient's insurance coverage at the time of treatment planning. This is going to not only give your patient the most estimated out-of-pocket cost, but it's going to allow them to not be upset in the long run if they overpay and they have, say, a refund. This is going to give us those closer estimates of not only the coverage, but the things that are not covered or the timely filing limitations that those patients may have to maximize their benefit usage. So it really gives the office the tools and resources to not only provide service to your patients, but to educate them about their benefits as well. Within our insurance verification service, we have two different options. One of that is being our data entry, and then we have our non-data entry. Data entry is where we will take the information that we've secured from the insurance company and plug that into your practice management software. So this is going to include your deductibles, your maximums, the percentages of coverage, and we'll also upload the completed breakdown form into the patient's document center, Smart Docs, or document section of your software so that you can refer to things like prep receipt date, age restrictions, and limitations from there. Now, our non-data entry insurance verification service is really a helping hand to your front desk so that it takes away the time that they have to sit on hold, go on the portals, or request a fax back. And we provide the completed benefit breakdown to the practice, and then the practice would plug that into the software or however you choose to use that information from there. So now, how to pick a dental billing company? This is really a personalized question, right? It's like picking the right makeup or picking the right car to drive. Everyone has their own specific choices. So our picks for the most important qualities of a dental billing company should be built-in accountability for the specialist on your dental billing platform. The doctor and the office manager should receive daily, weekly, monthly updates on the number of dental claims filed, appealed, and paid. And the dental billing specialist should treat every client as unique. They should also have shared expectations and standard operation procedures for how they conduct the billing of dental insurance for each practice. I will tell you, this is one thing that sets eAssist aside. In my eyes, there is no competitor, because not only are we making sure to collect what's rightfully owed to the practice, we're helping to make sure that you're coding confidently and making sure that the procedures that you are providing have been coded correctly, and that is going to continue to thrive your practice. We also have our sister Unitas, who is optimizing those PPO fees that you're getting from the insurance companies to really make sure that the highest dollar amount is secured. Some of those other bullet points is that those dental billers should really be vetted on their platform. All of our team members are thoroughly background checked and vetted prior to being assigned onto your office. The dental claims specialist for any dental billing company should promptly follow up with denials. Denials are as easy as setting money on fire, and that should never happen, right? So making sure that we follow up promptly to get that money turned around and issued back to the practice. The dental billing company should also aim to get the practice's outstanding insurance aging at zero. No money should be out there owed to the office. What you produce, you collect. It's time for you to get a raise. It's time for that hard work to finally be paid for, and you not have to worry about it floating out there. And then there should be ongoing communication between the dental billing specialist and the practice. This is really going to ensure that you're in alignment and working together cohesively. With our teams, you never have to worry. You can always reach your point of contact by phone, email, or text. We also like to have our weekly or bi-weekly, depending on your preference, huddles, so that you have that billing support. You're talking with your billing department and you have that synergy. So now this is going to highlight eAssist performance. So there's a couple of features here and how eAssist performs in relation to that. So when it comes to the way that our teams are compensated, when we are invoicing the clients, we are only invoicing on insurance collections, which means if we haven't collected it, we won't invoice for it. That also means that our team members are paid based on collecting the insurance collections. So that means that they are going to fight for that money just as they fight for the money coming out of their pocket, because if they don't collect it, we don't invoice, nor do they get paid for it. There is built-in accountability. So due to the commission-based model, eAssist doesn't get paid until you get paid. And this translates into the ultimate built-in accountability. We have, again, what we had touched on earlier, those daily, weekly, and monthly reports. Those are emailed to the management staff or anyone of your choosing. And this is going to provide you that summary of insurance collection efforts and any issues that are discovered, and that's going to affect the overall efficiency of the office. With our teams, we treat every client as unique. So as of today, eAssist has 175 five-star reviews on Google. Many of these reviews mention receiving special treatment from their eAssist dental billing team. Some of these reviews are listed below. I'll allow you to read those at your convenience there. With our teams, let's scroll down there. With our teams, we do vet our dental billers. So on average, only about 20% of the specialists who apply to work on our platform actually pass. That's how rigid and thorough our onboarding process is to make sure that we have the best of the best supplied to your practice. Promptly follow up with denial. So one of the main features of eAssist Dental Billing Platform is the promise to review all denied claims. If a claim is appealable, the dental billing specialist will appeal it. Some of those eAssist Google reviews say the following. So they have worked very hard to get us caught up with submitting claims, researching old and denied claims, and posting insurance payments. They work outstanding at getting those denied claims paid. We do strive ourselves in getting those older claims paid because that's a benefit to the patient. Those patients are excited when that's no longer their balance and insurance has paid what they owe. So we aim to get the insurance over 90 to 0. As eAssist Grand promised to get the insurance aging to 0. The goal is to centralize eAssist services. And we also have had teams that have confirmed those results as well, with some more reviews there. And then that ongoing communication. So I'm making sure, again, that we have that synergy between the office and your dental billing team to maximize that collection potential. And that all ties up with a nice little bow into delivering that peace of mind. So as we have highlighted from the beginning of this webinar today, eAssist provides peace of mind to dentists through increased revenue and decreased denials, but also a myriad of other platforms. So we've got Dental Zing, as well as our Practice Booster, as well as our team over at Unitas and those PPO negotiations. Why? Because we care. We care so much for the practices because we know what it's like when we struggle to focus on the patient standing in front of us because of the leaks in the revenue cycle management. Ultimately, the ones that are affected are the patients. We've all made a commitment to pull you out of the sand and get you back on solid ground so that you can do what you do best, provide quality of dentistry and experience your patients can't help but want to tell their friends and family about. eAssist is more than a dental billing. We're here to help, and we're really a family for your practice. So this is where we're going to circulate that poll back up and to ask if you would like someone from the eAssist team to reach out to show you what they can do to support your team. Take some of those most frustrating parts of your day and take them off your plate. If you do say yes to the poll question, eAssist will contact you to set up that consultation, learn more about your practice needs, and really talk about the customized solutions that we have to solve them. Now, while you're finishing up that poll, that's where we're going to turn it over to our Q&A time.
Terrific. Thank you so much, Rachel, for a wonderful presentation. It was really great. We got it back on track, so that's wonderful. I still have that poll up, so I will give that a couple more moments. And in the meantime, we invite you to please enter your questions into the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen, and I will be passing those along to Rachel. And we have one so far, Rachel, for you from an anonymous attendee. Are you fully staffed? Oh.
I was typing as you were talking, but yes, that's a great question because, honestly, it's an issue. I think of all the providers I talk to every day, this is the trending #1. So we are at capacity to help to support your practices. The one caveat to that I would say is if you have a more rare and unknown software, you may have a little bit of an extended launch time, but that doesn't stand in our way. We are built to help with those staffing issues so that you don't have to face them anymore. So don't worry about that being a challenge on your eAssist side.
Terrific. And I'm going to give you guys a few more minutes because we have some time and we'd love to go through your questions. So please go ahead and enter them. Any questions that come to mind, we'd love to get them to Rachel.
And you may not have any.
We have another one. Oh, we have another one that just came in. Yes, we have another one. Can you tell us an average commission paid to eAssist, percentage of collections for a practice?
Yes, absolutely. So that's a great question. And I'll go ahead and type this answer into, in addition to answering it live, just so that you have that for your record. So we are fully transparent when it comes to our invoicing. We strictly invoice for the insurance billing service off of your insurance collection totals. So at the end of the month, if your collections are 40,000 or under, your insurance billing fee, where we're sending your claims, posting payments, and following up on the insurance aging, is going to be a flat fee of $13.77 per month. We don't actually shift into the percentage until you're out of that initial startup threshold of 40,000. The next tier of invoicing from 40 to 100,000 in insurance collections is invoiced at 3.5% of whatever that collection total is. Now, this is where we have progressive reduction. So the next tier of collections between 100 to 150 is invoiced at 3%. Anything 150,000 over in insurance collections is invoiced at 2.5. So you get that rolling reduction as your collections get higher. Now, outside of your insurance billing service, on the other services, we do have fee schedules that are associated with the results of its prospective service. And we can talk more about those fees on our one-on-one consultation. They're also fully transparent on our website, so you can always find what those tiers look like as well. Now, the great thing about our invoicing, it is month to month in arrear. So it's always going to naturally adjust with the ebb and flow of the busyness of your practice. Hope that answered.
Thank you, Rachel. Yeah, it's terrific. And we have another question here from Dr. Black. Do you submit all insurance claims, HMO, PPO, and medical and dental?
We do. Now, medical, there are some restrictions in states. So if you're in Texas or California, your Medicaid does have some restrictions with third-party billing, which unfortunately we can't support at this time. All other insurance companies and states, we are fully supporting. Hey, thank you guys for all your great questions. Now, I know many of you are here with our Henry Schein team. If you ever do, maybe now is not a time, maybe you don't have this need, but that dreaded call comes in a few weeks where you have someone giving their 2-week notice and you find yourself in a pickle. Work with your FSCs as well. We all have a dedicated representative that works with your FSCs that are visiting your office, which are your field consultants, I believe is their full title. So if you ever do become in a need and you don't have this webinar up and ready in front of you, but you remember eAssist on the back of your head, your representatives that come in and on the office can help get the solution set up and get you to the right place as well. Now, I'm going to also just bring this up here so that you can take a picture, you can scan the QR code while you have it in front of you. This is where you can set up that complimentary consultation. And we really love to do that consultative approach to deep dive, ask those questions about the overall efficiency of the office and where we can really help to solve those areas of pain. You can utilize one service, you can partner them with multiple services. It really just depends on the overall goal of the practice.
Well, we want to thank you again, Rachel, for a wonderful presentation this evening, and thank you all for joining us. We did record tonight's webinar, and we'll email the recording out sometime in the next week. We would appreciate your feedback via our survey that will pop up shortly on your screen. Thank you all for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on future webinars.